My last delivery was to a building that doesn't exist. It was just supposed to be another normal night. Nothing special. I drive deliveries late, usually food. People order at weird hours, and I just bring it to their door. No big deal. Most nights are quiet, a little boring. But that night, something felt different, even before the last order came in. It was around 11:30 when my phone buzzed, one last delivery before I could finally go home. It was from a 24-hour diner I've been to more times than I can count. They already had the food ready: burger, fries, milkshake. No special instructions, just a regular order. I glanced at the delivery address. 231 Alder Lane. I didn't recognize it, but that's not unusual. I typed it into Google Maps. It loaded without a problem, about 17 minutes away. No red flags. So, I started driving. The later it gets, the quieter the roads get. And on this particular night, it felt too quiet, not peaceful. More like the silence was pressing against the windows, watching. I know that sounds strange, but I couldn't shake the feeling. As I got closer, the houses started thinning out. Then the houses became warehouses. Then those faded into what looked like the skeleton of an old neighborhood. Tall weeds, cracked sidewalks, streetlights flickering like they were holding their breath. And then I saw it. 231. It was a tall, narrow brick building, maybe 4 stories. The kind that looks like it was built during the Depression. The windows were black. No lights. No movement. But the app told me I'd arrived. The instructions just said, "Leave at door." So I parked, grabbed the food, and walked up. The stairs creaked a little under my feet. The door was old wood, paint peeling off in long, brittle strips. No buzzer, no names, nothing. I knocked once. No answer. I knocked again, a little harder. Still nothing. I pulled out my phone to message the customer, but the message button was gone. Just mark as delivered. That's it. I glanced up again and, I swear, for half a second, one of the windows on the ground floor lit up. Just a dim, flickering light behind the curtain. Then gone. Okay? That was enough. I bent down, set the bag in front of the door, snapped a quick photo for the app, and hit complete. As soon as I pressed it, I heard something shift behind the door. Just a slow, dragging noise. Like someone was inside, moving, right up against the wood. I didn't wait. I turned around, walked calmly but quickly back to my car, locked the doors. I tried to tell myself it was probably just some old guy who fell asleep, or didn't hear me. But even then, something just didn't feel right. On the drive home, the air felt heavier. Like the night was trying to wrap around me. When I got back, I did something I probably shouldn't. Have I searched the address again? 231, Alder Lane, nothing. Google Maps couldn't find it. I switched to satellite view. Alder Lane was there, but where the building had been, it showed an overgrown fenced-in lot. No building, just weeds, cracked pavement, and a rusted sign. Naotras, he stared at my screen for a long time. The app still showed the address though. I double-checked the delivery history. It said delivered, with the right timestamp. I even tapped the pin it zoomed in to the same empty lot from satellite view. I couldn't sleep. The next morning, I went back. Don't ask me why. Think I just needed to see it in the daylight, to prove to myself that it was still there. that I hadn't imagined it. But it was gone. No building, just like the map said, grass up to my waist, a half-fallen chain-link fence, a patch of foundation, maybe, under the weeds. But no door, no steps, no windows, nothing. I wandered through the lot for a minute, and then I found something. A splintered piece of wood lying flat in the dirt. I turned it over, and there it was. The number 231, painted in red, almost faded away. I took a photo. Proof. Something to hold on to. Back in my car. I opened the app again to double-check the delivery. Gone. The entire order just not there. Not in my history. No payment. No tip. It skipped from the delivery before. Straight to session ended. I contacted support. Told them what happened. Attached the photo. They said the address didn't exist. That there was no record of that order at all. And then they suspended my account for false delivery activity. I kept the photo. I tried sending it to a friend later that night, but it wouldn't send. Every time, it just showed file corrupted. I told a few people what happened. Most laughed it off. One of them, he did single quotes, he asked what diner I picked the food up from. When I told him, he just stared at me. He said, "That place burned down." I thought he was messing with me. I had just been there the night before. I talked to the guy at the counter, but he showed me the article, pulled it right up on his phone. Fire. Total loss. No survivors. The pictures showed ash and blackened walls. A fire truck still spraying water. It happened 2 years ago. I didn't know what to say. I remember being there. I remember the light over the register flickering. I remember the smell of grease and milkshake syrup. So either I imagined the whole thing, or I wasn't in this version of reality that night. It's been weeks since then. I haven't driven at night since. I keep trying to forget it, but it won't leave me. Last night, I made the mistake of driving down Alder Lane again. Just once. Just to check. And I saw it. A paper bag, sitting right where the building should have been. No footprints, no trash, just a single, perfectly folded paper bag. I didn't stop, but as I passed, I glanced in the mirror, and I swear, one of the third-floor windows was glowing, just for a second, then gone, like someone had been waiting for me, still waiting. Have you ever worked the night shift somewhere so quiet? It almost felt wrong? Like the silence wasn't peaceful, it was watching you. That's how it felt for me when I used to work at a rural clinic in Minnesota. Small town. One road in, one road out. We were open 24/7 because the nearest hospital was over an hour away. Nights were always slow. Usually, it was just me at the front desk, a security guard named Danny, and a nurse on call in the back. We barely even spoke. Most nights it was that quiet. This night, it started out like all the others. It was late October, right before Halloween. Cold, windy, dry leaves scraping across the windows. Danny clocked in at 11 p.m. like always, gave me a tired little wave, and disappeared down the hallway with his flashlight. I was at the desk, sipping stale coffee, catching up on paperwork. Then, around midnight, the automatic doors slid open. At first, I didn't even look up. We occasionally got walk-ins emergencies, travelers. I just said, "One moment, I'll be right with you." But when I finally looked up, the woman standing there wasn't moving. She just stared at me. She looked pale, almost gray, thin. Her hair was tied back tight. and she wore old-fashioned nurse scrubs like something out of the 80s. Faded pink, with a plastic ID badge clipped to her chest. But the badge looked off, yellowed, cracked, like it had been through the wash too many times. I smiled, politely, and asked, "Can I help you?" She didn't answer. She just turned and slowly walked toward the hallway that led to the exam rooms. I stood up immediately. "Ma'am, you can't go back there without checking in." Nothing. No response. That's when I noticed her footsteps made no sound. The floor is tile, and anyone walking on it makes a sharp tapping sound. But with her, it was nothing. Just silence. Pressed the intercom. "Danny, someone just walked back toward the exam rooms. Can you check it out?" "On it," he said casually. A minute passed. Then to no reply. I checked the camera feed. There are 6 angles around the clinic. I rewound the footage too, when the doors opened. The timestamp matched what I saw, but the feed didn't show her. The doors opened, but no one was there. I stared, frozen. I watched it again, frame by frame. The glass doors opened wide and the lobby stayed empty. But I saw her, with my eyes, standing right in front of me. Suddenly, the lights above me flickered. Just for a second. Buzzed. Came back on. I looked at the live feed. Danny was on camera now, standing outside exam room 3. Completely still. Staring at something just off screen. I grabbed the intercom again. "Danny, can you hear me?" Nothing. "Danny, say something." Still nothing. Then I heard soft footsteps behind me. I turned quickly. No one was there. But the air felt different. Heavier. Cold. Like winter had crept into the room somehow. I started walking down the hallway, slowly. I passed exam room, 1 empty room, 2 empty. The light in room 3 was flickering. I saw Danny's flashlight on the ground, still on. Shining across the floor, the door to room 3 was slightly open. I pushed it. Danny was standing completely still, eyes wide, staring at the far corner of the room. His face was pale. His mouth slightly open. Like he wanted to speak but couldn't. Then I saw her. The woman in the old scrubs. She was standing in the corner of the room, her back to us, facing the wall. Her hands were down at her sides. Even though her back was turned. I could feel her watching me. I whispered, "Who are you?" She turned, slowly. Her face looked wrong. Not bloody, not monstrous, just wrong. Her eyes were too dark, like they had no whites. Her smile was stiff, stretched, like she didn't really know what a smile was supposed to look like. She opened her mouth like she was about to say something. And then the lights went out. Completely, pitch black. I panicked and grabbed Danny by the arm. He didn't resist. It was like he suddenly woke up. We stumbled back into the hallway just as the emergency lights flicked on. Back at the desk, both of us were gasping. I whispered, "She was there. She was right there." Danny just nodded. His voice was shaking. "She told me. She was here for night relief. Said she used to work here." "What's her name?" I asked. He swallowed. "She just said, 'You already know me.' I called the nurse on duty." She finally answered, groggy. I asked her if she'd seen anyone tonight. She said no. I asked her about room 3. There was a pause. Then she said, "That room's been shut for years. Since the incident." "What incident?" "There was a nurse. She stayed late during a snowstorm to cover a shift. Gas leak. She passed out and never made it to the phone. What was her name? Linda. Linda Cartwright. I felt sick. I zoomed in on the security footage again. On the old faded badge that woman was wearing, it said L. Cartwright. Danny and I didn't say another word for the rest of the shift. The next day, when I tried to show the footage, it was gone. Corrupted. Wouldn't open. Danny quit that same week. Said he couldn't shake the feeling that someone was still watching him. I stayed for a few more months. I needed the job, but I avoided that hallway. One evening, I found a photo tucked into an old logbook. It was dated 1994. A group picture. Doctors, nurses, admin. There she was. Back row. Linda Cartwright, alive, smiling. On the back of the photo, someone had written, "Still helping. Still here. Don't forget me." The handwriting matched a strange entry in the night logbook. The night she came back, it said, 12:04 a.m., night relief arrived, all accounted for. But I didn't write that, and no one else was on duty. So, if she wasn't on the schedule, who let her in?